Hello, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mindset to Mike, back at you, episode number 17.
Oh, no hesitation. Fire
Nailed it.
now.
That the key is confidence. You gotta just say shit because odds are I was gonna be wrong, but I got my boy over there to pick me up. So, anyways, episode 17, we're back at you. Jimmy on this side.
What's up, everybody? You got Drew over here. Welcome back to the show.
Feels good to be back, man. One a week seems like a lot of these, but really I start to miss it, man.
Yeah, man. I just find myself like, man, that'd be cool to talk about. Every time I come across something new, I'm like writing it down.
For sure, man. There's a lot going on. The notes just fill up.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got a few fun things to talk about on this one. Let's start with a little challenge a boy update. I'm gonna kick it to you to start this one off. I know you had a tough week.
I did, man. It was hard. I thought I was gonna make some ground, but it turns out if you saw my last video, the week 2 update, I didn't make any ground at all, and actually I couldn't even reach the initial vertical that I had set the week prior. So I did reference in the video that I did travel, so I had limited access, and maintaining my routine that I had designed was pretty difficult. And the more I thought about it, I think I was limiting myself because I didn't really rest as much as I probably needed to. Like, I just didn't have it in me, man. It just didn't feel good, like jumping at all when I was trying to record that video.
Yeah.
So I guess this week I'm back at it. I've been going to the gym every morning, 5:30 in the morning this week, and still doing some plyometric stuff, in the evenings, and just kind of trying to strengthen them as much as possible. Implemented some more stretching, some more like stuff like that for recovery, and utilizing the sauna. And actually, one of Kate's friends got me a Groupon for a cryotherapy, which is that cold chamber,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try that out this week too, towards the end of the week before I do the week 3 recap. So we'll see with maintaining. I've upped my diet a little bit, consuming a little bit more proteins and calories to help with the recovery side of things. So eating cleaner, lifting more, and focusing on recovery this week. So we'll see what happens.
So kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that after this week, I wanted to post that video mainly because it just goes to show, like, things don't always go as planned. When you're setting goals, doesn't matter what it is, physical, mental, you got roadblocks, man. So it's just making the appropriate adjustments and figuring things out, not giving up, but staying true to the design and making any changements or adjustments as needed to continue to improve. So I thought it was still a valuable lesson. It was hard to see, that video, like it was pretty defeating, knowing that I couldn't even reach, but I know I'm capable of doing it as I've done it. And if anything, I'm getting stronger. So we'll see how it plays out after week 3.
Yeah, man, I liked it. I thought definitely. I mean, you just touched on it. The lesson there that I think is a super good one is just because you didn't make the progress you thought you would, and you even kind of so you can take it as kind of a fail. But if you have the goal in mind, and your failures along the way, if you can just flip that, right, reframe that, and make that a lesson, adjust from it, and keep going, rather than being like, man, what the hell? I even lost some on this one. Forget it. I'm done. Don't be defeated because you're still making progress.
Right. Yeah, man. I was like, I probably recorded that video like 6 times, man. Cause I would, I'd go to jump and then I wouldn't get there, or the fucking tape would like fall off of my finger before I could even touch it. So I was like super frustrated. I'm like, damn, man, it just doesn't feel like I got the bounce today. I don't know what's going on. So we'll see.
Yeah. I like that, man. I just got like rudely interrupted, but you'll appreciate this. somebody just dropped off this little gift package for me.
Uh-oh.
And this is a little secret of the pros here. This will get you fired up, right? If you don't want to drink energy drinks like me, trying to get away from them, check this bad boy out here. Got a little Hong Sam Wan Korean red ginseng.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. So they come in like these little packets, and it's red root ginseng, straight from old Hong Kong. No caffeine, no artificial anything, no preservatives, just straight up red root ginseng, and it gets you fired up, dude.
I used to drink them Arizona teas, bro. The green tea with ginseng, man.
That's it. That'll get you all natural.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Challenger Boy update from you. A little setback, but you took it the right way and keeping it moving. Dude, man, it's funny. It was funny. You know, I know I was a couple days behind in posting my video, but it was funny seeing yours and kind of the struggle you're having, because I feel that I'm hitting like a roadblock too. But what's so embarrassing about mine is I'm not trying to, you know, add 18 inches to my vertical. I'm just trying to get upside down. So, but I'm telling you, and I talked about this before, it's so mental. I just can't, like, even when I get my feet in the air, my head, I have a really hard time putting my head down with the top of my head towards the floor and looking forward.
For you, because that fucker's so heavy.
See, well, people like you in my life, man, it's hard to really excel. Haters just pull me down. So, you know, there was a couple other people talking shit to me today, and I was telling them the same thing. I told them, I feel, and I know that I could beat down John Jones in a fist fight, right? Mm-hmm. And prove me wrong.
Go ahead, argue. I'll wait.
You know what I'm saying? Prove me wrong. And if you can't prove me wrong with no facts or statistics, which you can't because you never see me fight,
change my mind.
Yeah, so technically, I could probably beat you down. Maybe. Because John Jones could probably beat you down. But if I could beat John Jones down, you can't prove me wrong. I could beat you down by proxy. So 6 degrees of who I could beat down, basically, is what I'm saying.
Layers.
So anyway, so when I'm doing it, when I get upside down, I have a tendency to pull my head and like look at the ground or try to still look forward, kind of like push-up position. And that throws my balance way off. So I've been getting weird with it at work, man, trying to have people catch my feet, just throw a handstand out there, have them grab my feet.
Just roll up on them.
Yeah, get upside down, just boo, catch my feet.
Like that trust fall.
Exactly. But it's way more dangerous for me. So I got to get over the mental block of getting upside down. So like when I'm doing it on the wall, I'm trying to consciously bring my head down, tuck my chin. And that's where I'm at, but it's such a weak fail. I know it sounds that way, but it's just the power of a mental roadblock is so tremendous.
That just goes to show it doesn't matter really the complexity of the goal. Like our goal, I mean, both of our goals are physical related, but they're very, very different as far as, you know, yours seems, if you were to just look at, you know, on paper, doing a handstand versus dunking, I guess, and it, you know, considering like my height and versus, it'd probably be easier for you to dunk and probably easier for me to do a handstand.
100%, which is why this is good though.
This is awesome. Yeah, it's great.
I love it. So, again, everybody jump in, man, challenge somebody. And I know I've spoken to people who have challenged other people to do things. They just haven't posted about it, which, that's fine. I would encourage you though to post about it because, and I know there's a fear attached to that, right? You don't want to put yourself out there to everybody on all your social medias, but really, who cares? Think about all the crap you scroll through every day and you never think about again. Just do it, post it out there, and it gives you a sense of accountability. So I would encourage people to take that leap and do it, but I know it's not easy.
Yeah, nothing's more effective, at least for me, is than putting yourself on blast, you know? Like,
hell yeah.
Especially when you start getting feedback, it's fuel to the fire for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I got some fuel for you, dude. This morning, about 8:10 a.m., dude popped his head in my office and he was like, he was a guy that he doesn't even work in my office. He works out in the field for my company, but he popped his head and he's like, hey, I thought your boy Drew was going to do a follow-up video at the basketball court. Because in your video, you said you'd post another one from the court, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I thought he was going to take it to the court. And I was like, well, no, I told him, you had a rough week with it. You're working through it, blah, blah, blah. He's like, man, he's like, tell him just get out there on the court, because in the real scenario, he's like, if he was struggling with, like, he didn't feel good, he didn't feel right, he's like, being out on the court might do something a little bit different for him. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll pass that along. But
that's a good point.
He was out here looking for you. So that's good. That's some accountability right there.
Appreciate that, whoever you are.
Young Tommy Ernest.
Okay. He's the one. He's getting really into it, man. He's got a challenge going on with one of his boys, right?
Yep. So 2 of his boys. And it was the last thing I said before he left, his friend challenged him to cardio, to 30 days of cardio in the morning, wake up extra early and do some cardio. And he's like he's at the gym every day, but he lifts heavy weights. Right. So cardio is not his thing. And I asked him how it's been going. He's 2 weeks in every day. He's been there. He's like, it sucks, dude, but I got put on blast, so I'm doing it. And
that's awesome.
He's noticing the effects.
Benefits from it,
Hell yeah. It's not like somebody challenges you to like do meth,
See how much drugs you can do without getting addicted.
Oh God. So moving right along, what time did you get up this morning, man?
A little after 5, like 5:15 or so.
Dang. What'd you do when you got up?
Got up, hydrated, took my amino acids, straight to the gym.
Guess what I did this morning, man?
Hit me, I don't know.
Little after 5, got up, got hydrated, got on the treadmill.
Nice, dude.
So it's funny because our that's just that synergy, boy. We're so synced up. I'm telling you. But because you're 3 hours behind, when I seen your post, I got to work. I seen, or actually it was probably Kate's post that said you guys were at the gym or whatever. And it was like 5:30, 5:20, something like that. I'm like, man, that is so funny. Yeah. I just did that. And I'm a couple days in with that now too. And like we talked about this on a past episode, and it's really been hitting me, the tool from Tom Bilyeu of I want to be the kind of person who I always think to myself, I want to be the person who gets up super early and does some really active shit. And then I just don't do it every morning. And it's really been weighing on me lately, like the last week or so. Like I'll be driving home from work and I'm like, man, why didn't I just get up earlier this morning? Why didn't I just do it? But in the moment, it's like, no, I need some more sleep. But later looking in, I like kind of feel bad about myself. Like, man, another opportunity down the drain, another day down the drain where I could have done it. And I want to be that kind of person. So it was weighing on me pretty heavy. So anyway, started doing it and feel great, dude. It's another like hour earlier than I got up anyway. So it's so not a big deal. Doesn't
that, like, the amount of things that you can achieve in that extra hour is like insane, because you're like, especially after a workout, man, your body's already moving, you're all like everything's kind of awake and ready to go, the mind's working pretty well. It's like I just feel like that's when I'm my most productive, when I get back from the gym. Boom, I pop on a podcast, maybe I'll go for a walk after the gym sometimes just to consume some new info, or I'll start reading a book or whatever, man. It's like I'm reading, I'm still sitting, and I look at the time finally, it's like, damn, it's only 7:30 and I already did all this, and I don't even have to start work yet. I can grab a cup of coffee and just relax, practice some mindfulness, some meditation, stuff like that. It's like changes your day entirely. Hell yeah, man. And it's a little different for you because of the time difference with, I know your home base from work is over here in the Midwest. So you may be getting some emails or whatever, but when I'm up that early, there's nothing going on. Like the baby's still sleeping, like all is quiet, so there's no distractions. I'm able to just, treadmill. I've been doing treadmill, meditation, and mindfulness, and like there's just nothing else going on. So then I get done, I'm all fired up. I hit the shower. I've been challenging myself to do the cold showers longer and longer every day. I'm up to 2 minutes. But I just like that calm, quiet of everything and the ability to not be distracted, because then, 8 a.m. or whatever hits and who knows what's going to happen. Yeah. So, and it's just 1 extra hour. It's like, who cares? And then the opposite side of that is
you fall asleep so much easier at night.
Oh, definitely, dude.
So you're not tossing and turning.
Yeah. Yep.
So kind of, but I know we want to talk about, I know you got something you want to talk about before we get there. And I think it'll tie it in. So I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and just on the topic of like treadmill and working out. And he was talking about how he works out. And he said when he's working out, he listens to music and stuff, but he thinks in his head of things like someone is beating his daughter, or someone is stealing his kid, or attacking his wife. Someone's broke into his house. There's like a panther attacking his other kid, right? He thinks about all these like life or death scenarios, because his theory is like when you think you're tired, how tired are you really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, you're like, man, I'm on the treadmill for a little bit. I pushed it pretty hard, pretty standard. And I'm tired, so I'm going to quit. But like how far can you push yourself in the realm of being tired? And the furthest you could push yourself would be a life or death situation, right? If somebody's chasing you and someone you love's life is on the line, how hard would you go then? And he uses that to push himself farther than he would ever go normally. He taps into that energy of fight or flight pretty much.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super interesting. It's kind of and actually he said it, and the dudes he was talking to were like, whoa, dude, like relax.
Chill out, man.
And it's pretty hardcore, but it's interesting to think like, if you're ever in one of those scenarios, how could you react? How fast could you run? How long could you run? How heavy of something could you pick up if your wife's life depended on it?
Right.
You tap into like a whole nother level of energy. I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah. Actually, if you listen to any of Gary Vee stuff, he does that kind of stuff for like business oriented stuff, or like business motivation, to like every morning he gets up, he's like, what if my family was in like crazy danger, and like, how do I apply that energy into business and making money and like, being productive, which is, it's pretty genius, if you're able to visualize that kind of thing. How much more motivation do you need than someone that you really care about is like in desperate need of your help, and is in, a crazy amount of danger or whatever. And it just goes to show like your mind will be quick to kind of shut you down based on like comfort and convenience, when realistically your body physically has probably another 60%. I think we've talked about this before. I think it's around 60% or so you have the ability to carry on further. People will run with like, fractured fucking shins and feet, and they'll still go like 50 more miles or something crazy. But so your mind, if you're able to override that, your body can certainly handle it. Not saying that you could hurt yourself, but ultimately, like, there's definitely a room to continue to work harder.
Hell yeah, man. I love it. I thought that was super interesting. I don't want to sidetrack us here, but I'm looking at this ginseng my dude dropped off, this whole box of these ginseng packets, 20 of them. Look at this bullshit. I don't know if you can see in the video. Head over to our YouTube.
It expired 2 years ago.
Bro, it expired. Well, no, it expired February 15th.
Oh, this year.
What the hell? I mean, it's probably still good, right?
It's just a recommendation, just like a speed limit, dude. So.
That's right. You don't gotta do it. Yeah, okay. I dig it. I'll drink it anyway. Whatever happens to me is on you. Anyway, carry on, my wayward son. Let's talk about some biohacking.
Yeah, so this is something I've really been getting into lately. Compliments of a guy named Ben Greenfield. Pretty interesting cat, man.
He's a human, though.
Yeah, he's human.
Okay.
But he may have 9 lives. Who knows?
Okay.
But this guy is all about like fitness, longevity, biohacking, doing things to like promote, health and longevity and stuff like that. So what is biohacking? Biohacking is basically the process of making some type of lifestyle change to hack your biology in order to reap the benefits in health, endurance, sleep, fitness, cognitive function, things of that nature. So we are basically made up of like what we eat, the foods we eat, the thoughts that we have, and then the physical activity that we partake in and movement related stuff. So those things are like what dictate our behavior, right? If you think about it, and how we feel and our habits and routines and stuff like that. Those three categories on a broad sense pretty much make up our day-to-day and how we behave. So, biohacking will allow you to like transform your body to be more productive, more energized, more efficient, stuff like that, which is super interesting to me because I think that should be a main focus for a lot of people, just in the sense that the more clarity you have, the better you feel. I mean, ultimately, the more productive you can be, and you're able to get after things. Because if we've all had shitty days where you feel like a day after drinking or something when you're hungover, how productive are you really that day?
Horrible.
Yeah, exactly. So these things can be like, I just got a couple categories broken down. Biohacking sounds way more complex than what it really is. It's basically, it can be as simple as, diet related stuff like implementing the keto diet, which is something that I have done is in the sense of biohack, no sugar, eating more healthy fats, adapting your body to be more efficient in how it utilizes fuel. And a good way and not every diet works for everyone. This is, a lot of these things are specific to each individual because everyone processes things differently. Not all diets work the same as they do for someone else, but you can do like elimination stuff. So if you eat something, just be mindful of what you're eating. And then if you feel like shit after that, then you can go to some form of like elimination diet. So next time you eat something with that same category, take something out of there. And if you feel better, then whatever that was that you ate is probably a trigger for making you feel like shit. So, you can kind of eliminate things that aren't, your body's not able to process as well as others that just aren't good for you. And another biohack would be like supplements, like nootropics, which are the smart drugs that help with cognitive function and the neurotransmitter stuff like alpha brain or whatever. And then amino acids and different supplements. Pre-workout could be something of, the timing of food and supplements when you're doing anything. Like I take, I started doing those the Total Human packets from On It. They have everything you need for the day, and then there's another packet for night. Dude, I like throughout the day, I feel great. This is probably the best I've felt, even implementing all the things we've talked about in the past. And then my sleep has improved like dramatically just taking, the nighttime supplements. There's like 8 pills in each packet, but dude, yeah, but it totally changed like how I feel throughout the day, and then sleeping, recovering, and then I wake up feeling great too. So which is pretty cool.
That's awesome, dude. I need a biohack.
You need you need to just make like a cocktail, like breaking up with all those pills and mix it with water and something and just slam it.
Yeah, because I like for those out there listening, it's gonna make me sound like I'm just a big 6-month-old dude, but I can't really take pills. Like I could take the smaller pills, but if like when you get vitamins or some of these things, they're like the really big ones. I just can't do it, man. My gag reflex is just, it's hardcore. So I'm so interested in this stuff. I just can't take the pills. I like choke and I can't get them down. So I end up eating the powder, which is horrible on most of these things. And this stuff, especially like I'll chew a Tylenol or an aspirin, no big deal. But this stuff, like the stuff with the powder, when you break it, a lot of times especially this stuff, like the nutrient based stuff, it's like just kind of explodes in your mouth like somebody's exhaust. Oh no, it's tough. So I gotta figure a way to start participating.
You gotta get that mental, man. Next thing you know, you're gonna be upside down on a handstand popping pills too.
That's it.
Popping pills on a handstand.
That's On It has the alpha brain that's mixes with your water.
Yeah. And
I tried to sample, like they were doing like a free sample. You just paid for shipping, but it was only like a couple days worth. And I liked it, but it wasn't enough to really, get into my system and keep doing. So maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is a lot of this biohacking stuff, especially when it's diet related and even physical activity. sometimes it takes like up to 2 weeks before you actually your body, because it took a long time for your body to get to where it's at. Nothing happens overnight. Like if you have a shitty diet, you don't just gain fucking 30 pounds overnight. That takes, over the course of, it could be a year or two or whatever. So, you got to keep that, you got to be mindful of that when you start improving things. You have to give it time and be consistent in order to, reap the benefits and stick with it. So another big thing, with biohacking is something we've always talked about is light exposure. That's being exposed to natural light. That's the circadian rhythm, which is critical in humans in general in life. And it helps regulate the hormones, boost your metabolism. So, it helps with, fat loss and stuff. The more exposure you have to the sun, it puts you in a better mood. You get all the release of the positive hormones, melatonin and all that good stuff. Or not melatonin, what is it? Serotonin.
That's what serotonin, that's it.
And another one I came across, which I found was interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but I never really heard of people actually practicing it. But I follow a couple guys that do this religiously. I mean, they'll go outside, they'll take their shirt off, and get some sun exposure, but they'll also take their shoes off and
feel the ground.
Yeah, call it being grounded. So you're kind of feeding off the natural energy of the earth itself. So I thought that was pretty cool. You're connected, and that helps, with your sleep, and reduces inflammation just by being grounded, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm going to start doing stuff like that too when I'm outside, and trying to take advantage of that. And just think of how you feel like when you're on the beach barefoot and stuff like that. I know a lot of it has to do with environment and probably on vacation, but a lot of that is probably attributed just to being connected more with your surrounding and the earth and the sun. And I know It sounds kind of like hippy dippy-ish or whatever, but this is what our bodies are designed. We're not designed to be in a house in dark areas. If light didn't exist, dude, nothing would exist.
With some Reeboks on or some toe shoes.
Yeah,
that ain't natural. That ain't natural. Get out of here with that bullshit.
Creeps. Next thing you know, you're hopping in your van with a bag of candy, man.
Just trying to bone kids like you go to Penn State, that kind of thing.
And then sleep, biohacking when it comes to sleep. Sleep is one of the most critical components of our lives. So, your body naturally detoxifies, especially in the brain, because we have these acids that build up throughout the day in your brain, which cause fogginess. So if you obviously, when you wake up and you didn't get any sleep, you can't think clearly. There's all those other factors. You just feel like shit overall. So focusing on sleep, and you can supplement, things for sleep. There's a lot of, nighttime teas you can have, or that, that reference that On It packet that has, 8 different, or handful of different supplements for the support healthy sleep. Eliminating blue light exposure, which is from your phone, from computer screens or whatever, stuff like that. People lay in bed looking at their phone and wonder why they're not sleeping, because the light's telling your body you need to be awake. You should be awake right now.
Look at me.
Right. That's why the more you can eliminate, light in the bedroom, the better off you're going to be. So sleep helps with weight loss too. People that are on a diet, they're starting a new diet and they feel like they're doing good, but they're not losing any weight. It could be as simple as you're just not getting enough sleep, because that kind of regulates your body. It has a reset. And if it's always moving, then it's it doesn't know what to do. It holds on to, fats and stuff because it feels like it needs energy because you're up. Go to bed.
And, with that, in talking about us, getting up at 5:30 or 5 o'clock, being that I'm only a couple of days in, that's one of the things that I'm paying attention to, because I'm usually well, I guess before the baby, I was a 7-8 hour, an 8-hour sleep guy, but, we'll put it at 7, but, since Elliot, up a couple times throughout the night. So it's not the real deep sleep that is optimal, but, so I would get, from 11 PM, usually 10:30, 11 PM to 6:30 in the morning. So it's going to be interesting, just minus an hour, if it makes any difference in how I feel. Like obviously for the first few days, I feel a little bit more tired later on in the day,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm waiting to see, is that going to even out, and is that enough sleep for me? Because it might not be, just what you were saying, your body needs a certain amount of sleep. And I think everybody's a little different, but um, I'm interested to see what it does.
Yeah, yeah, and if you look at like studies and of recommendations of sleep, it's like the younger you are, like Elliot probably needs 14 to 18 hours of sleep, and then it slowly gets lower as you get older. And I think, as you get, probably like retirement age or 50 plus or whatever, it goes down to like 7. You just need less
You got
sleep.
to blink.
You just like fall asleep at the wheel for a minute at a red light. Good.
That's why they do that. That's a whole night's sleep at the red light. Boy, catch a yellow and I sleep for a week.
That's right. So I thought that was interesting. And if anyone out there, like if you wake up, like say you go to bed at 10 o'clock and you wake up like 3 hours later or something, a lot of that can be attributed to, you're not supposed to eat like 3 hours before you go to bed. Because, you smash a meal at 9 o'clock, you lay down at 10, you go to bed, maybe you do fall asleep right away, but then your body's still awake because it has to digest all that food, So your mind and body is still working even though you're trying to sleep. So you wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So try and leave that 3 hour window if you can for that. Like biohacking, when it comes to like any physical activity, if 80% of our brain function is motor related. So, that's why I've talked about before, like utilizing your other hand, because it stimulates the brain as far as growth and development. And but you can biohack as far as using like cold and heat. Some of the things I've talked about before. Any cold exposure increases fat burning, capabilities for your body, because it kind of goes into like a state of where you have to utilize more energy to keep warm. And then on the adverse, using heat is good for, your respiratory, muscular endurance, and improves the nitric oxide in your blood, which promotes growth, and blood flow to fill up. If you were to go to the sauna after you lift weights, it'll enhance the growth of that muscle, because it's allowing blood and nutrients to get to that muscle to recover and fill up with the good things that it needs. And then, going into meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude stuff, these are things that are biohacking as well. Just like practicing, eliminating as much stress as you can, and just laying things out and being in tune with yourself and your emotions and things that you have and processing things. Stress is one of the biggest contributors to chronic diseases and, all kinds of health issues.
It's a killer.
Then, those are just a couple of things that are pretty, minimal, like cost wise. Is, you're changing your diet, you're being mindful of things, you're, taking, sleep and utilizing like free resources like the sun and the earth and the ground and stuff like that. And then you can get into like some extreme biohacking stuff, which we really don't go much detail on this one, but you can get like stem cell, treatments, get some new, they call it, and then you can get plasma too, which they call like young blood therapy. So you can get plasma from like a younger person and, inject it into your body, and that kind of reverses your biological clock. But your biological clock is like, maybe you're 30, but biologically you could be like 50,
because of all the shit you put into your body over the years.
Exactly.
And how you've treated it. It's funny because that concept of, and I'm sure it sounds really weird, even you just saying that, of putting something from someone young in your body to make you feel younger.
Yeah.
That's some shit right out of the movies or TV from when we were growing up, like how that's just crazy. It's in a super rich, evil villain would be taking the blood of a young dude and putting it in his body. And but it's real. Like people do it, not blood, but the like you said, with the stem cells and the plasma, people do it. There's research on it. I mean, it's an interesting thing to look up.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it totally makes sense, right? I mean, you're, if you think when you're a kid, you heal faster, everything happens faster and quicker, and you have more energy, and even like vitality stuff.
Yeah, man. Some people put other healthy people's poop in their butt.
Yeah, that's dude.
I'm not even kidding.
I know. Actually, I have that on my. I want to talk about that on the next podcast. But your gut biome is like your second brain, which is pretty
Yeah,
wild.
yeah, man. I don't even like my poop being in my butt. I'm trying to get it out. It's a race to the exit, race to the door. I'm shoving somebody else's doo doo in my butt, dude. That's creepy, but
Yeah,
that
so
happens. People do it.
that's what I got for biohacking. Obviously you got to do your own research. You got to do your own self, kind of experiment kind of stuff. But just play with things and improve your life based on these simple. These things are all pretty simple. Just process of elimination. What works for you, what don't.
Yeah, man. Um, this week's episode of Drew Does Bodies is presented to you by not a single sponsor because we don't have any yet. But I like the little health tip, man. I love when you get all fired up about talking health.
That's something I'm really passionate about, man. I've grown to find myself researching more and more about it, and it's paying off because I'm implementing these things, and I feel like great, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, man. Meanwhile, I just crushed an 8-month-old ginseng packet over here, so we'll see what happens. This afternoon might get wonky. I might handstand home from work.
You're gonna turn into like a samurai ninja and shit.
Yeah, man. So I want to round this one out with something that I heard from. I'm talking to someone about. I was talking to somebody yesterday about that Jordan B. Peterson book, and he actually finished it. And we were talking about some of the different points he made in there further along than we got in our reading. And there was this piece about Ben Franklin, and you can look it up. I think they call it the Ben Franklin effect. But I just thought this was kind of an interesting thought, an interesting tool to use in your personal life or your career. So the Ben Franklin effect, he talked about how you can convert an enemy to a friend. So that's how he put it. But I'd rather think of it as, because, okay, maybe you have enemies. I don't know. But I don't have any enemies, so it doesn't really hit home for me. But the way I choose to think of it is there somebody like in your professional life that you feel is blocking you from excelling, or someone that just because you don't have as good a relationship as you should, it's kind of hindering your progression or your development in your career. And again, this could be in any portion of your life. It could be in the gym. It could be anywhere you have an enemy or somebody blocking you. How do you convert them to your side easily? So Ben Franklin had this idea that, and he tested it in the writings he had that you can read, is asking this person, whoever it is, for a small favor, one at a time. So, for example, Drew, if you were my enemy and I wanted to convert you, I would say one day I might come up to you in passing and say, "Hey, dude, I totally forgot my pen today. Can I borrow a pen?" And you'd be like, "Oh, dude, like, God, I fucking hate you. You suck. You never have pens. Like, you're a mess." But you would give me the pen because it's just a pen, right?
All right.
So you'd be like, "Whatever, it's just a pen. Just take it." Well, your brain, your subconscious, in order to justify you giving me something or doing something for me, your subconscious tells you he must not be that bad because I helped him. Because you don't want to think that you would help someone who is that bad and is your true enemy.
Yeah.
But it's just a pen. So you give me the pen. Later on, next time you see me, in your head, you're like, like, he sucks, but whatever. Like, I gave him that pen. So it's a little bit better.
Right.
The relationship is a little bit better because you have a need to justify that action rather than just saying, "Okay, I'm friendly with the dude," or you know what I mean? So it starts off with that, and then it goes on and on and on, and you keep doing it with small little favors until eventually the person's like, "Oh yeah, he really isn't that bad." I just thought that was super interesting, the way your brain will justify your action.
Yeah, that's crazy. If you think about it, like if someone is an enemy, like are they really a true enemy, or is it just because you don't know them or you don't understand some of the things that they do? Or, I think people can find common ground no matter who you are at some point. I think highlighting that is kind of a ticket into, like, maybe you don't get along at work because of, he said, she said stuff, or maybe you're both going for the same promotion, or, there's could be a lot of different avenues there. But I think at the end of the day, if you're able to offer that person some type of value, or, start building a relationship as something as small as favors, most people will come around. I think I've been in this position, especially in work, man, work and school, where
Oh yeah.
you're surrounded by people like that, and they these cliques can form, and then they get outsider information and form their own opinion based on other people's opinion. So you got to be the one to break the ice, though. And I think that's a super good tactic to do it, to small steps to showing who you really are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, I think I've done it too, but not purposely. And I thought it was super interesting, the thought of why they think it's okay, because you're appealing to something so trivial to them, and someone that's your enemy wants to feel better than you, especially someone who's blocking you. They want to feel better than you. So if you start with something so small, let them feel better than you.
Yeah.
You're appealing to that already. So they want to feel better than you. You appeal to that. You say, okay, I'm going to let them do that. So you ask for a pen. So they feel better than you because they just let you have a pen.
Right.
So I had to help him out because he sucks. Well, in the back of their mind, I wouldn't help out somebody who is totally evil. So he's okay enough for me to let him have my pen.
Yeah, or else why would you do that?
Exactly. So then it keeps building up and building up. So you're playing both sides of their self-esteem and their mental position towards you, because it goes both ways, and you're just playing them like a fiddle boy. Fiddle boy.
That's good, man. I like that.
So I think that's it, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. Definitely.
I like it, man. We've all fired up. We talked about some Challenger Boy. We talked about what time you're waking up. What kind of person do you want to be? Joe Rogan, working out like you are, like somebody's messing with somebody you love. We talked about little Drew over there talking bodies with some biohacking. And Ben Franklin turning enemies to friends. Last thing, I'll leave you with a quote I wrote down this week that I liked a lot. It was from the Daily Stoic app. It gives you a Stoic quote every day. And I don't remember who it was from, Seneca or Marcus Aurelius, but just that you do the right thing, the rest doesn't matter. I like that, man. If you live your life that way, and you can make it so simple, and all you care about is doing the right thing, oh, you're in good shape. You will be in good shape. That's it. Go to sleep. So thanks everybody for listening. Keep participating. Keep coming with the feedback. Keep listening. Keep share, comment, all that good stuff. And until next time, grow your brain a little bit.
That's it. Stay productive and get shit done.